There is something quietly happening to so many women over 70, and most of them have absolutely no idea it is going on. It is not about fashion. It is not about trends. It is something far more personal than that. It is happening right on top of your head, every single morning, in the mirror, and it is gently, almost invisibly, adding years to your face without you ever choosing for that to happen. I want you to take a breath before we go any further, because this video is not here to criticize you. Not even a little. Everything we are going to talk about today comes from a place of deep respect for who you are and what you deserve. And what you deserve is to feel like the most beautiful, vibrant, and confident version of yourself every single day. The truth is, many of the hair habits women carry past 70 were actually perfectly fine years ago. They were taught to us. They felt natural. They became part of our routine, our identity even. But hair changes as we age. It becomes finer. It becomes more fragile. It loses some of its natural density and elasticity. And what worked beautifully at 40 or even 50 can quietly start working against us once we reach our 70s. So today, we are going through 5 of the most common hair mistakes that are aging women over 70. Not to shame anyone, but to open a gentle door to something better. Something softer. Something that truly honors the woman you are right now. Stay with me all the way through, because by the end of this video, you are going to see your hair and yourself in a completely new light. Holding on to too much length when your hair has lost its volume. There is something deeply emotional about long hair. For many women, it has been a part of their identity for decades. It has been how they felt feminine. It has been how they felt beautiful. And letting go of any of it, even just a few inches, can feel like losing something precious and irreplaceable. But here is what nobody ever tells you gently enough. After 70, very long hair can actually pull the eye downward. And when the eye moves downward, so does the perception of your face. When hair has lost some of its natural density, which is completely normal and happens to nearly all women as they age, wearing it very long can make it look thinner, flatter, and more fragile than it truly is. Instead of adding grace and elegance, the extra length can actually create a visual weight that works against your features. Think of it this way. A beautifully tailored coat that fits you perfectly will always look more stunning than an oversized one, even if the fabric is identical. Length without volume is like wearing something 2 sizes too large. It hides the structure underneath instead of celebrating it. Now, this does not mean you need to cut everything off tomorrow. This is not about dramatic change. It is about understanding what actually flatters and lifts. For most women over 70, hair that falls somewhere between the chin and the collarbone creates an extraordinary effect. It frames the face. It draws the eye upward. It creates the illusion of fullness even when natural density has softened. A soft lob, that is a longer bob, with gentle movement at the ends, is one of the most universally flattering shapes for women in their 70s. Add a little texture and soft layering, and suddenly the hair feels alive again. It feels fresh. It feels like you. If the idea of cutting feels overwhelming, start with just 2 or 3 inches. Ask your stylist to add a tiny bit of layering and internal movement to what remains. The difference will surprise you in the most wonderful way. You do not have to give up your love of hair. You simply have to let your hair love you back in a new way that actually serves where you are right now. Your hair at 70 is not lesser than it was at 40. It is different. And different, when understood and honored properly, can be absolutely breathtaking. The goal is never to chase what was. The goal is to discover what is possible right now. And trust me, what is possible is far more beautiful than you might imagine. Give yourself permission to try something that works with your hair today, not against it. You might just fall in love with what you see. Using dark, flat hair color that harshens your skin tone. Color is one of the most powerful tools in beauty, and one of the most misunderstood when it comes to aging gracefully. Many women over 70 reach for darker hair color because it feels youthful. It feels bold. It feels like holding on to something vibrant and alive. And that impulse is completely understandable. Who would not want that? But here is the quiet truth that changes everything. After a certain age, very dark, flat hair color, especially all-over color with no dimension, can actually harden the face rather than soften it. As our skin naturally lightens and softens with the years, A very harsh dark contrast between face and hair creates a visual tension that draws attention to every fine line, every shadow, every place where time has gently left its mark. It is not that dark hair is wrong. It is that flat dark hair, with no warmth and no dimension, creates a stark contrast that the face can no longer carry the way it once did. It becomes a frame that works against the painting rather than for it. What actually transforms women at this age is warmth and dimension. Soft brunettes with caramel or chestnut highlights woven through. Rich chocolates with golden undertones rather than cool, blue-based blacks. And for those who have been embracing their natural silver or white, which is one of the most beautiful things a woman can do, adding the tiniest warm gloss or toner can make all the difference in the world. It stops hair from looking stark or wiry and gives it a soft, luminous quality that is genuinely stunning. The women who look most radiant in their 70s are not necessarily the ones with the darkest hair or the lightest hair. They are the ones whose hair color works in harmony with their skin. When color and skin tone are in soft agreement, the face looks lit from within. It looks rested. It looks alive. If you have been coloring your hair a very dark shade and something has felt slightly off lately, a little heavy, a little aging, this might be exactly why. The solution is not to go dramatically lighter overnight. It is simply to ask your colorist about adding warmth and dimension. A few soft highlights or a warm glaze can completely transform how your hair relates to your face. You deserve hair color that makes people look at your eyes first, not your hair. When the color is right, it disappears into the overall picture, and what remains is simply you, glowing, warm, and completely yourself. Keeping a hairstyle stiff with too much product and no natural movement. There is a particular kind of hairspray moment that many of us remember vividly. The kind where every strand was locked into place, perfectly sculpted, not a single hair daring to move all day. In a certain era, that was the definition of a polished, put-together woman. It felt elegant. It felt controlled. It felt right. But here is what that era did not know. Rigid, stiff, heavily set hair actually reads as dated to the modern eye. And more importantly, it makes hair look thinner, drier, and older than it needs to. When hair is locked into a single solid shape with no softness or movement, it loses the one thing that makes hair look vibrant and healthy. And that thing is life. Hair that moves, even just slightly, catches the light differently. It creates soft shadows and highlights that give the illusion of depth and fullness. It frames the face with a gentleness that stiff, set styles simply cannot. And for women over 70, whose hair may already be a little finer than it once was, movement is not just beautiful, it is everything. The shift you need is actually quite small. It is not about abandoning all products. It is about choosing the right ones and using them with a lighter hand. Swap heavy hold aerosol sprays for light flexible hold sprays that allow gentle movement. Try a volumizing mousse applied at the roots before you dry your hair rather than setting spray applied at the end. Use a soft bristle brush instead of a fine-tooth comb to finish your style. And let the hair settle naturally rather than pressing every piece into place. The goal is not messy hair. The goal is not undone hair. The goal is hair that looks like it belongs on a living, breathing, radiant woman. Not like a helmet or a sculpture. There is a softness that comes from hair that moves, and that softness is one of the most flattering things a woman over 70 can wear. Think of the women you see who seem to glow with effortless elegance. Their hair is almost never stiff. It is soft. It has a little wave, a little bounce, a little something that feels natural and unforced. That is not an accident. That is intentional softness. And it is entirely within reach for you too. Give your hair permission to breathe. Give it permission to move. And watch how much younger and more vibrant your whole face begins to feel in response. Skipping regular trims and letting split ends quietly take over. This one is perhaps the quietest mistake of all. And it is exactly why it does so much damage without anyone noticing until the evidence is already there. Most women over 70 are not neglecting their hair on purpose. Life is full and busy and beautiful, and getting to the salon regularly is not always the easiest thing to prioritize. But skipping trims, even by just a few weeks too many, let something small quietly become something significant. Split ends are not just a cosmetic issue. They are structural. When a hair strand splits at the end, that split travels upward over time if it is not removed. It makes the hair look frizzy and dry at the ends. Even when the hair is otherwise healthy, it creates a visual raggedness that the eye picks up immediately, even if the observer cannot quite name what looks off. And for fine silver or white hair, which tends to show texture and dryness more visibly than darker, denser hair, split ends can make an otherwise beautiful head of hair look neglected and aged. The good news is that the solution could not be simpler or less dramatic. Regular trims, even tiny ones of just 1/4 to half an inch, every 6 to 8 weeks make an extraordinary difference. Not because they make the hair shorter in any meaningful way, but because they keep the ends clean, smooth, and healthy looking. Hair that ends cleanly catches the light. It looks cared for. It looks intentional. And here is something your stylist may not have told you clearly enough. You do not need to commit to a specific length or style to get a trim. You can walk in and simply say you want your ends refreshed. A good trim preserves your shape, removes the damage, and sends you home looking like you just had a full transformation. Even though almost nothing actually changed in terms of length, there is also something deeply nourishing you can do between trims. Use a small amount of a lightweight hair oil or serum on your ends after washing. Not on the roots, just the ends. This seals the cuticle, adds a soft shine, and dramatically reduces the appearance of any dryness or roughness between salon visits. It is a 2-second step that changes everything about how your hair falls and how it photographs. Your hair deserves regular, gentle care. Think of a trim not as losing something, but as giving your hair exactly what it needs to be its most beautiful self: smooth, clean, and completely alive. Choosing the wrong part or no part at all, and losing your face's best frame. The way you part your hair is one of the most underestimated styling decisions you make every single day. It takes about 3 seconds to do. It requires absolutely zero products, and it can either lift your entire face or quietly flatten it. Most women over 70 have been parting their hair the same way for years, sometimes for decades, without ever questioning whether that particular part is still doing them any favors. Here is the simple truth. As faces change with age, as volume naturally shifts, as hairlines gently evolve, the part that worked beautifully at 30 or 40 may no longer be the one that serves you best at 70. And finding the right part, or adjusting the one you already use, can be one of the most effortless and immediately transformative things you ever do for your appearance. A center part, for example, creates perfect symmetry, but on faces that have softened or developed more fullness in the lower half with age, a center part can sometimes draw the eye downward rather than upward. A deep side part, on the other hand, creates a diagonal line across the crown that automatically gives the eye a lift. It creates volume on one side of the head. It breaks the symmetry of the face in a way that is surprisingly flattering, because our eyes naturally follow that diagonal upward toward the forehead and the eyes. There is also the option of a soft, slightly off-center part. Not a dramatic side part, but not a true center either. This is often the most universally flattering option for women over 70, because it creates gentle, natural asymmetry without feeling severe or overly styled. And then there is the no part. Hair swept softly back or to one side without any defined line. When done correctly, this can look beautifully effortless. But when the hair is fine or flat, the absence of a part can sometimes make the crown look thinner than it is. In those cases, adding even the softest part line at the crown, combined with a little volumizing spray at the roots, creates remarkable lift and dimension. The invitation here is simply to experiment. The next time you wash your hair, try parting it just slightly differently than you normally would. Move it a centimeter to one side. Try a deeper side part. Try an off-center part you have never used before. Look at your face in the mirror and notice how the light falls. Notice where your eyes are drawn. Notice whether your cheekbones and eyes seem to lift or settle. You might be surprised to discover that one tiny shift, one small line on the top of your head, changes the entire energy of how you look. That is the quiet power of the right part. And it is yours to discover anytime you choose. If you have made it to the end of this video, I want you to know something important. None of what we talked about today was about changing who you are. Not a single word. Everything we explored together, the length, the color, the products, the trims, the part, all of it was about helping your hair catch up with the woman you already are inside. Radiant, worthy, completely deserving of beauty that works for her. You do not have to change everything at once. You do not have to change anything dramatically. Even one small shift, one gentle adjustment, can be the thing that makes you look in the mirror and think, yes, that's me. And that feeling is everything. Your hair at 70 is not a problem to solve. It is a canvas to work with, thoughtfully, lovingly, and with the same grace you bring to everything else in your life. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I genuinely hope something here lit a little spark for you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path.